Continue to work with Musa. If you continue to bring these boys, listen, if you're an indigenous person still serving in Nigeria Army, Nigeria Custom, Nigeria Air Force, shame on you that you have joined the terrorist army. Because Nigeria is a terrorist place. Nigeria is an Islamic state. Like I just analyzed for us. Fulani is equals to Nigeria. Nigeria is equals to terrorists. Terrorists is equals to Islam. They are all one and the same. So if you're an indigenous person still serving in the Nigeria Army, Nigeria Police, Nigeria Customs, Nigeria Air Force, resign. Resign. If not so, you have become a terrorist. Whether you know it or you don't know it, I'm here telling you it to you now so that you know it. Resign. Because they continue to push you down to Biafra land to kill us, we will kill you. In fact, when you're coming, just write your will, keep it down. I saw one guy on top of their tanker. Like he knew the death is right about the corner. He was not thinking about his life. Guys, did you see it? And look at that face closely. Seems he's a Hausa. He seems he's a Hausa Muslim that doesn't understand nothing. Nothing. Those ones, they've been brainwashed. The likes like Abu Bakr. They are the likes.
Sister Stella, can you make it a little bit snappy?
I finished. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You know, this is a people who call us infidel, that we are not human. But when they see our women, they would like to go and rape. They will rape our women, do every sort of evil on them. But these are the people they call infidels, say that they are not human beings. I ask myself, how can you live with this kind of people in one as a nation? No, it's not gonna happen. I can see Sister Claudine. You can make your submission. Amuche, if you anytime you want to talk, please can you raise up your hand, please.
Ben Chooks, you better give it to Amuche because they are always attacking him. Let him go first before me. I don't mind.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. Amuche, can you go? Can you unmute your mic? Oh no, Amuche is struggling again.
Yeah, that's what they do. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, lovers of freedom, my Biafran people, and every other race or every other country or lovers of freedoms that is on this space, irregardless of our enemies watching us from Anonymous or whatever you are watching us from. We greet you all. This is a Biafra Republic government in government in exile and in the homeland space. My people of Biafra, please do share this space. Let's bring in more people. Let's let this go wide. Take a few seconds, go and reshare the space, and let's try and invite a lot of more people. This is a fantastic topic because everybody knows that Nigeria is a terrorist state, but everybody should come and tell how they feel Nigeria is a terrorist state. We know, we are Biafrans, we are intelligent people, we know who we are, we know the story of how we are, and so we know that Nigeria is a terrorist state. Who is Fulani? Sister Stella has done an excellent job on that. And Biafra IOU loan. You know, freedom is not cheap. It has to be funded. So I will start by saying, I'm going to add that Nigeria is a terrorist state and also Nigeria is a failed state. So those two goes hand in hand. And that is why the emerging states in Africa, one of them, or in the world, one of them is going to be Biafra, because Biafra is currently located in the place called Zoo, Nigeria, because it has failed. It has governed its people with terrorism, and it has always terrorized its people. That was what happened. I can tell you for a fact about this discussion in the TUC, which is the trade union conference they had in the United Kingdom, whereby Ononuga was trying to be snappy to respond to the fact that all the trade unions in the world listen to how Nigeria has become a terrorist state. They listen carefully because the trade union representative from the Nigeria was being detained, and a letter was read out for the whole world to see how Nigeria terrorizes its people. And he quickly came to debunk it. But unfortunately for him, the question you ask him is that, where is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Where did you kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from? And that question was answered at the trade union conference in the United Kingdom a couple of days ago. And that is what we are saying. The people do not, when you talk about Britain, the people of the British people are not the government. It's their government that is harboring and doing all these wicked acts. The trade union came out and said it the way it is. I will play the, I don't know, a lot of you probably have heard about it. I would have loved to just play the small clip where this trade union, absolutely a fantastic topic, called Nigeria a terrorist state. So what do should I play the host, or what do you think? Hello?
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Sorry. No. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm just going to go and get where I put it. Just a second. In the meantime, let me just continue to give my submission. I'll look at where this was said somewhere in the United Kingdom. So, what does a terrorist state? What do you mean by terrorism? I've gone to search for just the definition of terrorism and how it applies to Nigeria. Terrorism is the use of violence, of the threat of violence to achieve a political goal, such as intimidating the public or influencing a government. It's unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in pursuit of political aim. It is also the use of violence against non-combatants, just like us. Those two people in Ogboru, where they were killed, burnt, that is an example of a non-combatant, to achieve political or ideological ends. Mark that, political or ideological ends. They intentionally propagate this violence against people during peacetime. They pretend to the whole of the world that there is no war in Biafra land. There is currently war in Biafra land, and the whole of the zoo is being terrorized. The whole of the north is all gone because of what they call bandits. They call them all of these unknown government. They call them all sorts of names, but they have refused to call them that they are terrorists and they are terrorizing the people. So it is both political and ideological aims. So in the context of Nigeria, when you look at the ideological aims of this, what is the ideological aims of this terrorism in the case of Nigeria? Is to dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. It means they want to Islamize every single one of us. Fulanization of every single one of us. Turn the whole place to Ruga. Turn take our waterways away from us. The demography, they change the whole of the demography. The 99 Constitution is part of the terrorism. The eradication of innovation and promoting Sunni. And what did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu talked about this terrorism? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his interview with some foreign journalists, he said that the whole of Nigeria is a terrorist state. Why is he saying that? He said because when you open your border for people to come in, and when they come in, they are terrorists, and they are now living in the country as a terrorist, joining the army, joining all the other services that you have, then they are terrorist country. In a simple term, he explained it like that. He says, so the territorial area of the zoo has been broken severally. And when you break the territorial area of the zoo, bringing in people who have the sole reason of coming to the country is to name, kill, and take over people's land, take over everything they want, they have, terrorizing them, intimidating them, then the land of the zoo, the land of Nigeria, is a terrorist country. It is taken over by the terrorists. You cannot deny that. And that is how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu referred to the terrorist land of the zoo. Then when you want to look at it further, he then went and said that when you look at the situation of Nigeria, where the Fulanis are the one who brought these terrorists in, he said when you look at them, the approach the Fulanis have used is called the devil's alternate. The devil's alternate is because if you choose to work with them and allow them to come to your land, eventually they will take over everything and kill you. And then if you fight with them, they will also kill you. So it is the devil's alternate. So what do you choose? You have to make sure you choose and fight for your freedom. And that is the way Mazi Nnamdi Kanu described it. In addition, he then said that what they have come to do is to make sure they detribalize the whole area. They detribalize the whole area, just like what you see happening in the Middle Belt and part of which area? Plateau States and all of those areas. Benue, Plateau States and all of those areas. They detribalize the area and then they retribalize it. So they remove the people away, and then they tribalize it by putting their own people, renaming things. That is a classic Fulani way of the jihadist Fulani way of terrorism. And he says people must appreciate and realize that these people is a devil's alternative. You cannot not accept any one of them. So you need to fight your way out. And that is exactly the way our leader has approached this terrorism from the Sahel and in the homeland, which is the Nigerian government and the zoo. So he said, if you do not do anything to this, they will destroy you. They will kill you. So if you don't fight, and he says, if you do not destroy Nigeria, Nigeria will destroy you. And that is how it is. That is why we are doing what we are doing. And when you want to then look at the breakdown of how cleverly have they make sure they terrorize the whole country of the zoo. That country, when you look at it from the south, you look at it from the east, according to the way they look at the geographical position of Nigeria at the moment. When you look at it from the southwest, from the east, from the south, the middle belt, and the north, how have they been able to achieve this terrorism against the people? From the south, when you look at it politically, Tinubu has contributed in the recent time to the way they have actually used terrorism in a political manner. What he has done during the election is an example of it. And the other one where he knew, because he said, I'll continue where Buhari stopped. When they went to Sunday Igboho's house and killed him because he was agitating for Yoruba nation. That is another way. When they then use people like, when he uses Agbero, all these touts to use, he surrounded himself with all these touts. He lured them into little money that he pays them. He uses criminality and all these touts to govern Lagos State. That is what he uses. The MC Oluomo of the world and all of these garage touts that he used, the Lagos whatever transport union, and then he uses them to intimidate the people. That is a political way of terrorism perpetrated by the drug lord himself. And he used that effectively after the general election and the governorship election, where you could hear everybody knows what the terrorism that they have committed. And then continue with that, the ideological terrorism. You then see the Fulanis using kidnapping and killing, because Lagos is still an urban area. It's not as was at the suburbs of the southwest. The suburbs of the southwest, like the EKID state, like all the other states, they slaughter them in their farm in cold blood. When I started listening to Sunday Igboho, what came to me first when I started listening to him, Biafrans, was that he then said the first time he went to an area called, I've forgotten the name of the area, and he gave the Seriki Fulani 24 hours or 7 days or so to pack their things and live there. What happened? Just like how me and you, a lot of people are in the diaspora, struggling, working very hard to make sure we put food on the table for our family here and at home, and trying to do our best. This man, there was a man who was in Germany for 15 years. He is a doctor. He worked very, very hard. And then he decided he will go back to the zoo and establish mechanized farming for his people. He did that very well. He then, because they had land, he was planting all sorts of things, including corn and everything. And then he was so good at what he was doing. Even some of the crops that he has, the corn, when they come out and they don't turn out to be excellent products, what he said is that, oh, give it to the Fulani cows, they can take that for free. But doing all of that, they were still going into his farm, destroying his crops. And then somebody advised him, oh, go to their leader, the Seriki Fulani of that area. And he went there. He went to appeal to the man and said, please call your people to order. Do you know this man did not leave that place alive? When he went there, this Seriki Fulani and his people, they actually killed him in the most gruesome manner. In the most gruesome manner. That was the beginning of the protest for Sunday Igboho. That was how he started his protest. In the most gruesome manner, they chopped this guy and they chopped him into pieces. That was what happened to him. So that is the manner of the terrorism that is applied in the Southwest. So the rest is history. We cannot begin to name all the individual cases, because if I start, I don't think I'll finish today. So that was in the Southwest. Whether you look at the place they call the East, the one they like to say the 5 states of the Eastern region. That's what they like to say. Not knowing to them that the beautiful map of the 40 states of Biafra that was posted on our prime minister's handle was the one that drove them crazy. They all went ballistic. They all went mad. They all went mad when they saw that. But when they refer to the Southeast, how was terrorism promoted there? Terrorism was promoted there by militarizing everywhere in the Southeast. Everywhere. Somebody who did a survey of the place, they were saying there were over 800 army checkpoints and police checkpoints in the Southeast. The humiliation, the degradation, and making the people so worthless. You come out of your car, you raise your hands up and walk from your car to the other area, and kidnapping of people, extorting money, and all sorts of degradation. People disappeared, and they will never know where their family is. They take them to army barracks, and that was what happened to our beautiful sister that was kidnapped and was taken to some army barracks, was gang raped by the army to the extent her womb was completely destroyed. That is terrorism, my people. That is terrorism. None of these people in the Western world will stick a day to this atrocity I am reading out. None of them. And they are telling us that our diversity is good for us. that we must stay in this hell that they brought to us. They said we must stay and we must not go for our freedom. That will not happen. We know better. So how did they describe the terrorism in the South? The South, the terrorism is even worse. I don't need to even talk more about it. You can hear what is happening in Okwama. Okwama's only crime is that they are located where the oil they are getting from the zoo is coming out. The oil does not even come out of the village that they are in, but they are along the Forcado River where the gas pipeline and the oil is going through. They do not want any inhabitants there anymore. They are taking people from their natural inhabitant where their forefathers have lived, and they want to kill them and they want to destroy them. They want to take over their land, and that is terrorism of the highest order. And then what they do collective punishment. When anybody try to protest and do something, they come in and bring their bulldoze and their army, and they bulldoze the whole place. They even steal their stuff, and that is the terrorism of the highest order. That is a simple picture of the South. I don't need to mention it any further. And then you go to the Middle Belt, you go to Plateau, Nasarawa, and all of those places. The terrorism has actually been the cause of the hunger you have in the country, because the Middle Belt has always been the basket of food for the whole country. They have made so many IDP camps. There are over 2 million people in IDP camp in that area. Some people were born in the IDP camp. Some people do not know where they originally came from, and their land has been taken from them. They have slaughtered them. We have seen pictures of mass burial. They have taken their land from them. Everything you can think of, that terrorism of killing people, that is where you find it. That is the Middle Belt. And then what is happening to the North? What is happening to the North? Buhari was the grand patron of Meiti Hala. Buhari, yes, he is. The man was so nepotic, is the most evil thing that has happened to the zoo. He opened the whole of the zoo and allowed his terrorists from the Futajelon to come into the zoo. And they have agenda. And that is where the ideology came in. They had the agenda to take over the whole of the country. And they have been powered and sponsored by countries that we know of. We know countries like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and all of these countries, the Sunni countries of Fulani Sunnis are supporting them. We were mentioned by the United Kingdom, is it Foreign Secretary, that said the Islamic countries came to talk about the situation in Israel, and Nigeria was part of it. All of those countries mentioned in there are all sponsors of terrorism in the zoo. Yes, they are. And that is the ideology, to make every single one of us Muslim. And that will not happen. So that in a small cap, in a small cap, I can mention that is the breakdown. You know what is happening in the North. I don't need to even tell you the wrath. And nobody is happy from the death of people, innocent people. Nobody is happy about that. But the point is that terrorism in the North is just a simple thing, is that they want to take over everybody. That is why when Prime Minister will be doing his exposition, he will say I don't know who is making that noise, but it's coming. Every single Muslim, or every single intellectual that is a Muslim, are comfortable in Islamic State. We are not. That is what is happening. And I need to tell you that. And how do you go further with that? Because with all of this I have just said, I have just then narrated to you that because of all of that, the zoo is a failed state. The zoo has failed tremendously, and the zoo cannot function anymore. The zoo is a failed state because it has lost the trust of all its people, and it's characterized by a number of indices: weak government, political instability, economic decline, poor infrastructure, high crime rates, corruption, judicial ineffectiveness, military interference, and everything you can think of. And that is why the zoo has failed. We have decided we are no more Nigerians. We are not from the southwest or the south, from the south, from the north, and we are no more Nigeria. We are no more southeast. We are Biafrans. That is why we have our 40 states with our capital, Ebube. And that is why our prime minister has 50 million votes and counting. And by the grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama, on the 2nd of December, which is sacrosanct, he will count the votes and he will be given the mandate. It will no longer be we are the solution because we've been marginalized, we are defending ourselves. He will have the authority to bring Biafra and defend Biafra. And that is what is going to happen. And that is why they are quaving, they are shaking, they are having meetings everywhere because they are losing in everywhere. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told them, if you bring your army to Biafra land, the war starts from Olu, bring them there. Your plank will be open. By the time we finish you in our area, when you go back, you will find that you have no place to stay. And those of you who survive and go back, you will always tell the story to your people. And that is what is going to happen, my people.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I can see the third guy on. Let me yield my mic so I can give the mic to a lot of people. The mic are on. Thank you so much. I was going to play that a little clip where the TUC has confirmed that the zoo is a completely failed state. And so let me just see if I can see it. If I can see it, I'll play. If not, I'll just leave it. And then I think I can. I have to search for it. So let me give my mic back to the co-host and the host. Thank you so much for giving me the mic. Thank you, Biafrans.
Wow, thank you so much. The eloquent Clara Dings, the lioness. You are really, really, really wonderful. Thank you so much for your submission. It's wonderful indeed. Mr. Tech, the tech guy, you are here. Can you mute your mic?
Thank you so much, my brother Ben Chooks, my brother and also my thunderous sister Clara Dims. I don't know how I feel when I see you, when I hear you talking. Honestly, I feel like, man, I feel more agitated. I feel very, very good. I thank each and every one of you. Sir Williams, thank you so much. My sister, Stella, I cite you. Thank you. Frank, I thank each and every one of you. Nonso, my brother. Nonso Biafra. Minister Otunwamanya, the watchdog. Thank you. Ben Uwabu, thank you so much for coming around today. I am very, very happy that we have gathered again to continue, changing the narrative, continue promoting Biafra, and continue to tell the world the truth about the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, the headquarters of every illicit, every evil, where evil emanated on earth. So I am happy that you are here. And I also thank the host and also the co-host, Ben Chooks, for giving me this opportunity to show or to share more light on this topic. Is Nigeria a terrorist state? Who is Fulani? Now, this took me back to a little bit history because I like facts, all right? That's why whatever I say, I back it up with facts and data. You can go and look it up. So the question is a question: who is Fulani? Is Nigeria a terrorist state? The answer is yes. Nigeria, if I am in a law court, I am not a lawyer. like Sir Willie and other. I am not a lawyer actually, but if I am in a law court and you're asking me a question, I think the answer should be direct. So the answer to this one should also be direct. Is Nigeria a terrorist state? Yes, Nigeria is a terrorist state. A state-sponsored terror against its citizens. Now, the second question, who is Fulani? Well, you cannot explain who is Fulani without educating people how is Nigeria a terrorist state, the purpose of the creation of Nigeria, and how, you know, the Fulani came to play. What are their, you know, character in this play, in this drama called Nigeria? Which role are they playing actually in this drama? Because once we declare and defended our nation, Biafra, we are going to write a script to act everything that happened in Nigeria between 1960, 1st October 1960, till the day we are going to act it as a movie so that the world will know. We are not going to, we have been documenting Nigeria. I believe a lot of people will come up with books. We are going to gather in University of Biafra with different books and we will compile it. We're going to act it. Just the same way South Africa acted about, this crazy guy in Uganda. What's his name? Idi Amin. You know, they acted, but the movie was not complete because the colony, you know, we are the one telling the story. So the Ugandans have not come up with, you know, movie of Idi Amin of Uganda. So we are going to act starting from, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Aguiyi say, we're going to go through to, go on to Olusegun Obasanjo. From Olusegun Obasanjo to Muhammad Buhari at first, from Muhammad Buhari to Shehu Shagari. From Shehu Shagari, we are going to go through to Muhammad Buhari, how he extradited and gave him a slap and collected the power in 1983. We are going to go through from Muhammad Buhari to Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. We're going to go through from Babangida, how they were trading drugs, manipulating the citizens of Nigeria until Abacha came up. We're going to go through from Abacha to Ernest Shonekan. From Ernest Shonekan to then to now Obasanjo in 1999, who amended constitution that almost destroyed Nigeria for over 2 decades. We're going to go through from Obasanjo to Yar'Adua in 2007 with his 7-point agendas. None of them was accomplished. Why? We're going to go through to Goodluck Jonathan in 2011. Through 2011 to 2015, when Buhari again came back and died in 2017. We are going to show the world how Nigeria has been manipulated until now. The head of the state, the head of the drug cartel, who is now running Nigeria. So we are going to play this thing so that the world will know. Nobody is permitted to write our history. We are going to write our history in our own pace, in our own time. A movie, a government-sponsored movie. That the world will watch how there was a country called Nigeria. So, who are these Fulanis and how do they marauded and entered Nigeria? There was a man called Ahmed Idris Naradim. This man is the founder of Nasco Biscuit. I don't know, most of you who grew up in northern Nigeria should know Nasco. If you are in Nigeria, you know Nasco. Nasco is a popular product, and this man came from Eritrea. Eritrea is in eastern part of Africa, very close to Djibouti, Ethiopia, and
Eritrea and Ethiopia is together.
Oh, are they still together? I think they are separated.
Yeah, they try to have.
Are you referring to Nasco, the one in Jos?
Yes,
the Nasco.
Yes, the Nasco. Yes.
I thought it was owned by the genocides, the ACT genocides. Go on.
No. It's owned by a man. He's an Eritrean man called Ahmed Idris Naradim.
Okay.
Yes, he is the father of the current Naradim that is making noise all over the social media. The Naradim. That man is the founder of that Nasco. It's not Gowon. Gowon is just a shareholder. All right. So that man came to Nigeria in the early 60s as an Islamic scholar. The man is a Fulani man. He came to Nigeria with some of his people. The way they came, they migrate from Eastern Africa to Western Africa. Some settled in Senegal, and some settled in Gabon. Some settled. So this one now came to Nigeria. When he came, the northern people. I'm sorry for Hausas who are listening to my history. They are very naive in a way of thinking. I'm telling you, these guys can agree to anything. To deceive an average Hausa man is simple. Just tell him that Allah, just conjure nonsense, and he will agree with you. And that's how this criminal was able to deceive them that he has a good way of teaching Islam, right? And that changed the history. That man, that Naskum guy, he will be investigated. His company will be investigated when the time comes. All right. A lot of articles has been written about him, and even our own this Australian preacher, Islamic preacher, is he Imam of Peace? Imam of Peace have published an article. I think they took it down in one certain time about that this guy, this Nasku guy, this Naradin guy. He died of recent. I think last year or last 2 years. He died. His death didn't make wave in Nigeria because the son didn't want to make it a popular thing. But most of us who grew up in the northern Nigeria understand this. All right. So while I was growing up in northern Nigeria, we understand the Izala movement. Most of you who are in the east don't know Nigeria much. We that speak Hausa very well, eat and dined with them, studied in the north, almost born and brought up in the north. We'll tell you more about these guys. So there is this version of Islam. It's called Izala. How do you identify them? They have big beards and they have short, in those days they have short trousers. Their trousers does not touch ground. So this man, this Naradim man, founded this Izala movement. These characters, this subject of Islam, trained the likes of Pantami. This Pantami guy that is making noise in NCC, doing no matter what manner of. I think EKOS have endorsed him on one nonsense also. So the Izala movement became a wave in the north. It was then they started pushing for early 70s. They started pushing for Sharia. It was not granted because military, the way military run Nigeria then, they would just assign an Igbo man to be and become governor of Kaduna, and Yoruba man to go and become a governor of Imo, and the Yoruba man to go and become governor of Enugu. So, and military is by force. They go with, force of utterances. Once they made a declaration, it's over. So because of that, the movement was slowing. It was slowing down. So who was funding this guy then in early 70s? It was the Arab League, more especially Saudi Arabia. Why was Saudi involved in doing this then? Saudi was involved in doing some of these things because Saudi want to destroy and make Africa, more especially Nigeria, a perpetual slave to Islam. So that they can come to Mecca, they will never seek the truth. Every year you come to Mecca, you donate money, you donate money to the Arab League. Do you know how much they make? On a very good day, we are going to expose how much these people make every day, every year, in the name of this nonsense they are organizing in Saudi Arabia every year in the name of stoning Satan and others. So the Arab League was funding Naradim's movement. All right, now. There comes another guy again from the other side of Kaduna, who joined him in Jos in the wave, and this man was the father of Gumi. His name then was Sheikh Ahmed Abubakar Gumi. That is the main Gumi. This Gumi you are seeing here is a son to this Sheikh Ahmed Abubakar Gumi. Go and check out these names I'm telling you on Google. They have, in fact, I have a book I'm writing about. I'm documenting this, how this terrorism emanated in the zoo, and it was a serious wave in the north. I can never ever forget 1999 Kaduna massacre, 1999, where then I was still a young man in primary school. I will never ever, in secondary school, I will never ever forget that year. early 90s, when these guys were, in fact, every Friday it was a tension in Jos and Kaduna. Every Friday, because you don't know what is going to happen. Anything can happen. Once they come out of the mosque, it will be, it is either, peace or war. So the Easterners are always afraid every Fridays and mostly Fridays in Jos and Kaduna, to be precise. And these are where these criminals dominated. Not even in Meduguri of recent, because Meduguri is like a proxy. One day I will expose what is happening in Meduguri and why did they choose Meduguri. This Boko Haram, these people, why did they choose Meduguri as the capital? Now, this Naradim, in conjunction with the father of Gumi, these guys were moving. It was a heavy moving train. Izala movement was so strong that they were dominating the government of the North. They made sure that a Christian can never become a governor in the North. The last Christian that tried it in Kaduna State was assassinated by a helicopter, crash, by the name Yakowa. Go and Google this. The last Christian governor of Kaduna State, Yakowa. The Erufai movement masterminded the killing of this guy. So now the movement was moving and moving and moving. Finally, when Obasanjo was detained, one of the conditions Obasanjo was given by them, because they became a wing in the North, was that you are going to approve Sharia law in 2003. If we are going to give you this thing, you are going to rule from 1999 and amend constitution. Then in 2003, you give us license to operate the Sharia. Obasanjo actually wanted to drag this. It was a very serious matter, but Obasanjo succumbed to pressure. Why? Because he need to seek re-election in 2007, from 2003 to 2007. Now, Sharia was open. They were hiding before, until when Obasanjo agreed, they now make it open. Masha Allah, Masha Allah, Masha Allah. They were moving and moving and moving. Finally, they got Sharia. Tell me, in a secular state where they have how many laws that is governing, if not Zoological Republic of Nigeria? Senegal, as great as it is in Islam, does not have two secular laws. They don't. Go and check. It is only one law that is governing, Senegal. They don't have one law in the north, one in the south. No, it's only in Nigeria. But there is a purpose to that. Now, by the time Sharia law was, enacted, boom, Fulani from all over Africa, all direction head to Nigeria. All direction head to Nigeria. Some people think Boko Haram started just the moment Jonathan, becomes the president. No, it started long time ago, and Britain is a serious mastermind to this. But we'll get to that maybe on a very good day, because of other people who wish to, to listen. To cut the story short, this man funded different kind of Islamic group. He was not just part of the founder of Boko Haram, not Al-Qaeda in Maghreb, not ISWAP. About 5 group he funded and founded by himself and the likes of them. The day I'm going to make this exposition is going to be very, very open, so that those who have questions will ask me. Those who I need the question should come from those who were born and brought up in the North. Those, because I'm going to speak outside. If you don't understand my Hausa very well, it means you don't understand what I'm. If you are born and brought up in the East, like in Biafra land, you will not understand the history. Like Awim, our Ghana brother, he needs to be here so that he can be confirming what I'm saying. So now, today, let's cut the story short. Today, it has become a serious wave in Nigeria that Nigeria cannot control any longer. Is the founders alive? No, they are no more. Their children are carrying out the same Usman Dan Fodio. The day I'm going to expose this I'm going to start with Usman Dan Fodio jihad, and how did it stop at a time, and why did it stop? Biafra stopped them. Why did it stop? Why did it continue? Why did they have to go and revive it? They fear, one of the most terribly that feared Buhari was the emergence of Biafra again. The emanation of Nnamdi Kanu gave Buhari one of the, in fact, he killed Buhari. What killed Buhari was Nnamdi Kanu. He couldn't comprehend that Biafra will resurrect again like this. The man could not, because the agenda has already been successful. They have captured Nigeria. All of a sudden, boom, Biafra again. A stumbling block. So, my brothers and sisters, look, Nigeria is in a very big mess. The country is in a shit like, oh, I am sorry for Nigerians. But for we Biafrans, we are very close to our destination. See us see Biafra. See us see Biafra. We are looking at Biafra. It's just a matter of time and we'll jump into Biafra and pick up arms and defend our country. If you come into Biafra land in the name of jihad, we will kill you. We will not kill you until we are going to kill you and use your body to feed our crocodile. Yes. Why? Because this is our land and we have to defend it with every goddamn thing we've got. The reason we are narrating some of these stories so that you wouldn't think that, oh, it just started yesterday. No, it didn't. It started when Nigeria was immediately amalgamated. Yes. Did you think, oh, you think Osman Dafodio jihad was yesterday? No. It was in 18th centuries. It was centuries ago. And why do you think the ideology is still running now? Why? Why do you think the ideology is still running now? Like I used to tell people, our focus is not on Fulani. Our focus is not on, the Nigerian state. The main problem, the people who masterminded the killing of Biafrans, the internal soldiers who were raping Biafrans during 1967 to 1970 was the Afonjas. Afonjas is the main problem of Nigeria. Fulanis are tools. Osman Dafodio was a British tool to help them Islamize Nigeria. I have a book. I read this book as far back as 2007. How Britain, helped to Osman Dafodio to march. Britain gave him chances, a serious chance. If not, because then Catholic Church still have conscience. Catholic Church, contributed, to, they were debating it. Like Britain would have go let this man march and conquer this territory for us so that we can have access to oil. That's all. We don't care about them. We don't care about the people living there. Let them die, all of them. We don't care. We need the oil. So the likes of missionaries now started organizing meetings and started talking to British lords. That was how Osman Dafodio, failed. His mission failed to dip Quran in Atlantic Ocean. Churches contributed in stopping him. Then the Biafran people stopped them. And today, even today, the history is trying to repeat itself. They know that anytime they want to raise the banner of Islam, Biafra will stop them. It's not about them. It's about the Afonja, because Afonjas are the main issue here. Why? They control some of the media. They are in social medias. In this Twitter you see here, while I was working with Twitter as a software engineer in those days, they dominate data. I have about 4 of them, 4 data analysis in Twitter. Some of them are in San Francisco, some of them are working remotely, but these are Yorubas. I know them by their names. They attack. These people hate Biafra more than the Fulanis, as you think. I'm telling you, they don't care about their region. Ondo, Ekiti, Ogun. They don't care. Their focus is on Biafra. That's why anything Biafra hurts them, even more than an average Fulanis. Fulani will try and fail, but Afonja will keep on repeating it. Omoibu. This is a serious issue that every day we need to talk about it. Look at Omoto Williams. He is compiling a book. They said he's going to launch the book in the University of Maryland. I've contacted some people in Maryland to find out how true is this. And they told me, well, they don't know for now, but of course, for a book to be launched, of course, you need a recognized institution to launch that book. Then
my brother, don't worry, he cannot do anything. The book is not that book, nobody will buy it. When he cannot even identify that we have only 4 market days, he is putting 14 market days. The guy is completely an agent of the zoo. Don't look.
Yeah.
There's nothing any of them can do. They will come and they will fade away. Sorry about that. The guy disgusts me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know Clara them, but do you know why I'm putting much concern on him? I'm telling you, since last week, I have been on this guy. I have about 5 systems open on him alone. I have, I was able to intrude to him to read some of his books. I have seen some of the book he's trying to publish and so on and so. But there's information I have not gotten from him. I'm still checking, and I'm going to get it. No matter how he protects him, I'm going to get this information. Look, let me tell you, Clara, why I'm concerned about this. Do you know what Afonjas did to Biafra in 1967 to 1970? If you don't know, pay attention. Let me use 2 minutes to summarize it. Then, the most prominent writer in West African pilot was Ono. Go and check this. Go and check history. And some other journalists. There are other journalists from Nsoka. There are other journalists from Ngwo. There are other journalists from Umahia and Owerri, to be precise. But these journalists were not international. You remember, travel ban was placed on Biafrans. Afonjas alone traveled. Afonjas alone had scholarship to travel to London to study. It was an advantage. So some of them were journalists, in Britain. They were studying, carrying out campaign against Biafra. What do? Biafrans internally, led by Odumegwu Ojukwu, was advancing. My grandfather was a commander. My grandfather said he met Ojukwu one-on-one. He sat with him. He told him, sir, the kind of narrative the Afonjas are, representing us internationally is evil. It's wrong. According to my grandfather, he said Ojukwu lit a cigarette and smoke and told him, sir, go back to your camp. Don't worry about those guys. Ojukwu never took them serious. And
my brother, let me interject.
We are advancing. I'm coming.
Let me interject.
Just hold on a moment.
Why our prime minister said, I have researched and I have looked at the mistakes we have made. And that is why the mistakes we have made, we will not allow that to happen again. That's why nobody can tell our story internationally anymore. Before this prime minister started, there is no way, there's nobody he did not write to. Carrying all his files, sending messages. So my dear, so that is the situation. So I don't want this Omotayo to even, don't let's make him popular. The guy is, he cannot do anything. He cannot do anything. The person that rules the country, the president, hates us more than this Omotayo. The drug lord is himself. Hates us more.
They are the same. They are the same. They are doing the same work. So, but what I'm just using him as an illustration. Why we should never, anytime the guy pastes anything, we should go to his even if he's not talking about Biafra. We must demarcate this guy internationally. We will never allow anybody again, anybody from any extraction to write our history. Nobody should tell us who we are. Nobody should, in any circumstances, address Biafrans internationally. Oh, you know the way they do. They will start obedient, and they will gather crowd like 200k followers, 300k followers, and the next thing, the real agenda will emanate. They have agenda from day one. And what is the agenda? To hate Biafrans. They are more deadly than Fulani. Fulani can be controlled and dealt with. How many?
Nobody will write our history. Our history is in our palm. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my co-host. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sure. So Biafra, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Your submission was wonderful. Our people, we forget so much. Do you know the person who made Nigeria to be a terrorist and the Muslim nation is Babangida? Babangida spent about $12 billion to sign Nigeria in OIC. Many people forgotten. Since that time, that was when the the agenda started. He is the person who who make everything start working, and nobody is talking. There is no referendum in the country that, okay, do you want to be? He just purposely took Nigeria money and signed Nigeria into OIC, where you don't belong. Even when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was preaching, I don't know if any of you remember this governor, Masari or something, or Masari, former governor of Kaduna State, somewhere, said that Fulani, they don't have a home.
Former governor of Katsina State.
Yes, they don't have a home. They don't have a home. That's why they employ all the Fulanis all over Africa to come to Nigeria to settle, so that Nigeria will be their home. He was interviewed by television. Everyone sees that, and nobody is talking. Nobody is saying anything. You know. So how long should we be waiting? And the soap is entering into our eyes. We just keep on messing up. So this is the time. If anyone is making any kind of move about this struggle, about this movement, Mazi Nnamdi can say, if you are different, I will shoot you down. I think we have somebody, somebody. No,
Thank you. Can I quickly play this? I need to go now. Can I quickly play? It's about 2 seconds. Okay. Where the TUC talked about the NLC and what is in it, that I've forgotten his name now. This Nigerian Joe Ajario, the NLC president that is being held. So this is what they said. Let me just quickly play that sound so that Biafrans can listen. I don't know if it's loud enough.
The ordeal is not yet over, and the intimidation of him and his NLC colleagues by the Nigerian government. Joe was released last night, but it is clear that his ordeal is not yet over. This unlawful arrest is a gross violation of fundamental trade union freedoms, and in arresting him on his way to speak to us of the essential trade union right to seek solidarity. Nigeria's trade unions still have our solidarity. We condemn the actions of the Nigerian government and demand that they end their persecution of Joe Ajaero.
So Biafrans, I just thought I'll play that. It's basically, I don't know if you heard it, that was a conference in the United Kingdom where they have condemned the Nigerian government in totality for holding the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, unlawfully, and just to stop him from coming for this conference. So when you say Nigeria is a terrorist state, don't think you are the only one that know that. Everybody
Hold on. I forgot my glasses. What? Which number?
Where were you? 66. You're supposed to follow me in every single question.
66. The difference is 60. Contract. The right contracts. B.
It's which action occurred during ventricular system.
Both of them contracts.
Both ventricle contract. You should follow me every question, okay?
Okay.
Don't be away from my questions. Sarah, when chatting an EKID, which of the following is most important to
I gotta end this. Sorry. I'm in class. Sorry. I didn't even know.